What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. As always, I am Camtastic, and this is In Response, where every other week, 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 0 friends gather around their desks to update you on the goings-on in the CDH world and our personal journeys throughout that format. Joining me this week, as always, is Nico, aka Maxi Delight. How's it going, Nico?
It's going pretty well, fellas. Happy to be here, and we're going to have some great talk about recent tournaments and upcoming tournaments, I'm sure.
Awesome, awesome. Also joining me this week, as usual, is Julian the Magician MTG. How's it going, Julian?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just got off of like how Nico was talking about our previous tournament, California 99, with a top 10 finish. So we'll get into a little bit more details a little further in. But I'm excited to talk with our guest for this episode. So
Speaking of which, that brings me to our very special guest, Daryl RudeDudeMTG. Daryl, you already did kind of an intro. You wanna drop it again for the audio listeners?
Let's run it back. Yeah, pleasure to meet you all. My name is Daryl Cook, or RudeDudeMTG. I am the local Magda Spike in California. I love Magda. I am transitioning to VIVI, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, eventually. But I love CDH. I've been playing for a little over a year. I'm climbing the ladder right now. I'm actually, as of recording, top 100, the Hot 100 in Top Deck.
Yeah.
I made a goal to get to the Invitational this year, so I've been grinding harder than I've ever grinded. I love CDH. I love California. I'm working with the Mana Mart specifically to develop a series of platinum events in California called the Cosmic Crown Championship, where we can bolster the California CDH environment, primarily kind of giving at least like consistent platinum points to the California circuit. So working with obviously In Response and other local TOs to kind of give a structure for an opportunity for all of us to have the top deck experience on the regional or state level.
Hell yeah.
that's awesome.
All great stuff, man.
Well said, too.
Yeah, sweet. So everybody listening and watching, remember, you guys can always tune in live on YouTube. But if you happen to miss out on the show, don't sweat it. You can catch us later on YouTube or give us a listen or follow us wherever you get your podcasts. But now it's time for the show. All right, man. I'm so excited for this. I love sitting down and chatting with you, Daryl.
Yeah, super stoked to be here. I feel like we obviously spend a lot of time together at your event specifically these days, which is awesome, or at my first event, which is great to have you all. And hopefully I'll have Nico as well on the next one.
Yeah.
As we
It'll
develop,
happen
of
soon.
course.
It'll happen
Yes,
soon
well,
for sure.
we're hoping to do 4 again, knock on wood. But if we're doing 4 a year, I'm hoping that we can just get people to come when they're available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything was
With
so
4 a
awesome.
year,
Yeah,
1 or 2 will be easy.
definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we want it to be available. We think that a platinum event is easy to fill quarterly, and it's not putting so much stress on the market. Originally, we were thinking about doing it every month, but we figure that probably would put a big stress. It'd be awesome to have them every month, but I don't think we'd be able to
Right.
fill them as easily.
Yeah. Because platinums are what 100 plus right now.
100 up. Yep.
Yeah, being able to get 100 plus every month, I feel would be a little difficult, but every quarter, I think that's definitely doable in your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Central Coast specifically is where we're trying to do it so that we can get Southern California, we can get Northern California. We had people from Chicago, we had people from Ohio, we had people from Idaho, we had people from Michigan, all around the nation. So we welcome
Yeah.
everybody. We want to make a fun experience like nothing anyone's ever experienced before. We recognize that we got a lot of feedback on how we can improve with the organization and the sign-up structure. So we're definitely listening to all feedback, but hopefully going to be growing together to make unique CDH events like nothing anyone's ever experienced before.
Definitely. From the footage I've seen of Cosmic Crown, you guys are already off to a great start. That was pretty awesome stuff.
Coming from a judge perspective, which I was one of your floor judges for the event, it was really cool. Being able to be on a team. We had a team of 5. We had coverage, which kind of gave me a little bit of an experience that I get to put on a resume because I've never done a coverage match, so that was really neat.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Being able to work under Punchy as my head judge and having Sky as my appeals judge. They're awesome. They're great team leaders, and I learned a lot. So I appreciate you and having such a great team that you cultivated and allowing me to be a part of it. So that was awesome.
Yeah, behind the scenes again, because I like to draw the curtain a lot, I guess. We were like down to the wire on judges, and Julian was so nice to save me in the pinch as a TO. So we actually really needed him. He came and he was an amazing addition. He actually judged my stream game too, which was awesome, and
Yeah.
he fit right in. So he's of the
Nice.
caliber of all the other judges, and we're really happy to have him. We hope to have him as a competitor next time if I can get my organization down.
That would be sweet.
Nice.
But
I'm
I'll
curious.
always be a backup for you if you need me.
I'm curious. I
Yeah.
meant to ask previously, but is there like an actual rule or just a rule of thumb, if anything, about like ratio to players and judges in tournaments? Or did you just like have a certain number you knew you wanted, Daryl or Julian? Do you know as a judge?
Yeah. Julian may know more as a judge. I definitely am not a judge, and I don't ever pretend to even know any of the rules. You can see my gameplay to know it, certainly. But what I will say is, I tried to think of what would be a manageable amount of people one individual judge could manage. And from my experience, we normally have one judge manning our bronze events, which is normally 16 players. So I thought at the floor we wanted 16, and at the ceiling we wanted about 25 persons per judge, because we're not going to have them all the time, but we want to make sure there's enough. And obviously the appeals judge is going to be less use, and then the head judge is going to obviously be the person that's organizing the most, so we want them to be free to do that. So we did a 1 to 25 ratio. We assumed 125 people, so that's how we came to the 5 judge. Normally we'd have 6 because we want the head judge to be free, but we were working on very, very limited resources at that time.
Yeah, that's very well thought out, though.
Yeah, makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense. Yeah, everything felt well judged from a player standpoint. Everything was great. I mean, we got there, we showed up. There was this fantastic dinner that you had provided for us. We went to the pizza place. We walk into this pizza place, and it just looks like a little hole in the wall pizza shop. And then we go through the back door, and there's just this big area with a fire pit and everything outside. And you just walk back, and you just see magic faces as far as the eye can see. There's Zabraxis,
Yes.
there's Comedian, there's the Sambinos out there. Everybody's out there, and so everybody's just eating
Yeah.
pizza, bullshitting, having a good time. And I doubt you planned it around this time, but the SpaceX launching the rocket, that was, I mean, talk about
That
cosmic
was
crowd.
so
Serendipitous.
cool.
Yeah, that was very
Literally
cool.
was not planned. It was just one of those things that the universe decides to add a little sprinkles on top, and we were really happy to share that. It felt like you said, like it felt like, or what I've been saying, I should say. What I've been saying is, we want to make a movie on the moon, and I want it to be a surreal experience, something like you don't, we all have daily lives that at sometimes can feel monotonous for some, maybe not everybody. And so we want to take people away from the monotony, from the daily routine, and really transport them to somewhere else. And that's kind of the goal of, I think, CDH as a format for decompression, for me at least, but also for these CDH weekends to take us away from just regular life.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, it was just so cool just to just fill in the viewers and stuff. We step outside and we keep getting these alerts that this rocket's going to get launched. And so we go and we step out the back of the pizza shop, and we're all just looking towards the coast, and SpaceX launches this rocket up in the air, and everybody's just sitting there, and it's like, damn, that's really cool. And then about 10 minutes later, you feel the shake of all the windows and everything, and you see it like
That sonic
drop
boom.
the thrusters off, and they're all spinning and flaring in the air. It was just like, man, this is the cosmic fucking crown right here.
Yeah, what time
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah, it was awesome just to like, be there and experience and witness. So
Yeah, it was dope. And then from there, we all ate and drank a little bit, and then we headed over to the venue and helped set that up. And it was just a
Yes.
cool community thing. Like, everybody was out there setting up, playing games, moving tables, just getting everything, blowing up balloons. Like, it was cool. It was dope.
Yeah, I think it was that. I think what I always say, and I want to keep championing, is I could not have individually done that. That was not something that I could do myself. Me as a TO, I had like everybody come and help me do what I needed to do. So like, I'm so grateful to everybody that made the effort. I'm so grateful to everybody that made their sacrifices, because honestly, without them, my event wouldn't have been anything. So I'm super ecstatic about that. Um, People from shout out to Jesse specifically the Arizona team because they literally were grabbing tables, grabbing chairs like you wouldn't believe. And shout out to ABC and all of my homies. And then in response, pretty much everyone came to support the event. So it really felt like CEDH as a community came to bolster us, and I'm so grateful to everybody.
Hey, you did that, man. You did that, big homie. You got everybody together. There's a reason everybody was so willing to come and help you. Like,
Yeah.
You've created quite the community that's spanned further than the Central Coast, and you're reaping what you sow now. Like you're getting the benefits of it. So
Yeah,
Thank
100%.
you. That means a lot. Yeah. And I'm gonna keep growing with you all because you guys feed me, and I want to feed the community.
Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of feed, we had some good food at that tournament too. I mean, we had that food
Yes.
truck out there. We had that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also had it was the LobbyCon Part 1 the first night where we're all hanging out
Yes.
at the brewery getting everything set up, and there was this guy that delivers food until midnight. We had some surf and turf fries. It was dope.
That
So like,
quesadilla.
yep.
Oh,
So everybody ate both literally and figuratively while we were out that weekend. And
Heck
that was
yeah,
just
yeah.
day
Our
one.
stomachs and hearts are full.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Heck yeah.
exactly.
These tournaments are definitely going to turn into weekend getaways, like you were saying. I mean, like dinners before, all day events. Like our tournament just the other weekend had barbecue, like take people coming in taking orders and then hand delivering it to players at the table.
Yes.
Food
Yeah,
is
we're
That was
definitely
amazing.
That's what we learned
trying to
from
make
yours.
it
Yeah.
comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we
Yeah,
learned from the
totally. Make it
crown.
an enjoyable experience. I love it. I love it. Heck yeah. You guys did it until we definitely have to talk about that event too, because that was super awesome.
Oh
And I
yeah.
have an apology for Alex for round 5.
Well, so yeah, what was the competition like at Cosmic Crown? I wasn't there. You guys were. We've chatted a little bit, but tell our audience who also wasn't there.
Yeah, so I could start. Mine is hard because I was the TO, so you can imagine how many places I was pooled
Yeah.
throughout the entire weekend. So it got to the point where obviously I had to day one I didn't get it right where I didn't fully like transition my head judge to the TO role, which was definitely problematic. So during the main event, I was called to do some TO stuff while I was playing, so that created some confusion. And I was managing the stream as well, which also created a lot of like operational like divide between like locking in for the round and then also doing my TO hat. But overall, the competition was great. I am used to the California meta being really fast, and I felt like it was slower than normal. It was still
Yeah.
very turbo, but
Yeah.
we got to many more mid-range games. I got to see a lot of turn 3s and turn 4s, which was interesting. A lot of fringe decks always come out in California, so that was fun to see a bunch of people's like brews, things I've never seen before. People who were first time CDHers came to the event too, which is amazing to see. Like
Yeah.
people coming to a platinum event for their first ever
First,
event, like that
first
takes a
ever
lot of
event.
The
balls.
balls
Yeah,
on
For
this
real.
guy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Same.
So I love it. Yeah. So like that was really fun and interesting. I actually washed out of the main event, so I didn't do well at all. I got like top 45 or something like that. And everyone says like as a TO you shouldn't do well on your events, and I'm going to set the record straight that that's not how I want to do it. I want to win every single one of my events, but I also want to make
Nah.
sure that there's a proper TO in place so that there's no funny business. So the optics are clear that I'm not
Right.
influencing, but I'm
Yeah.
just outplaying every player invited. Yeah,
Yep.
which hasn't happened yet, so don't worry, chat. It's not it's a pipe dream for now. But I did okay in the redemption event. I think I got like 16th place. I just bubbled in
Hell
Nice.
of
yeah.
the
Nice.
redemption
Got
event
those
on
points,
Sunday.
baby.
I did. You know, I need them. But yeah, so it was super fun. That was my experience day one.
Nice.
Sweet. Yeah. As a judge, walking around, looking at players' tables and seeing what decks were out there, like, I mean, you see, I saw a lot of different stuff. Like, I mean, everything from like Orvar and like mono blue Arkham Dagson to your typical blue farm, which there's a lot of blue farm, Kinnan, Magda. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on like everything under the sun, like Sisay, but a lot of off the wall stuff too. It was really cool to see people bring in their own home brews and stuff to this big platinum event.
Yeah, it was sweet. It was like you said, like it felt Like it really did slow down from Fishbowl. Like in those few months, like I was expecting much more turbo, but it really slowed
Mhm.
down. And then that kind of, we'll talk more about it when we talk about the 99. But I don't know. I was expecting like an all in all turbo beginning of the year, but people are really starting to sit back a little bit and plan for turbo. I thought we were going to hit a patch of a lot of turbo, and then it was going to get watered down by some stacks towards the end to combat the turbo, and then we were going to
Mhm.
come back to this mid-range grind. But
Yeah.
it seems like we're falling in this weird place of like, instead of like turn 5 and 6 mid-range and turn like 1 and 2 turbo, we're almost like turn 3 and 4 right now.
Which I think is healthy. Yeah,
I
I
think so
think
too.
that's exactly right. I think the way I describe it is like, if you can play turbo really well, it's almost always your meta, right? As long as like you're not in a super stacks environment, which is very rare for the format, at least from my experience to date. I think there was a turbo fatigue, right? Every good player got tired of losing to a player with maybe less skill expression because they were in a turn before them, right? So the turn order simulator really bothers players that have high skill expression would be the way I describe it.
Makes sense. That
And
makes
for
sense.
that reason, those players intentionally then start playing more control and more stacks to be able to see that turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, and they
Yeah.
play an advantage engine, right? And they know that they're intentionally playing against that meta. And so when people start playing in that way, then of course there's a course correct because the rock size are losing. So then they start playing Blue Farm or Kefka or whatever.
Mhm.
Kafka, who plays that?
Winners,
What's
winners.
funny, I was gonna say, Magician, is that how you play or what?
Speaking of Kefka, we can mosey on over to the California 99 and talk about the meta for that and see how everybody did for that event, because that was also a really awesome gold event that we got to throw. So
Yeah, super amazing. Shout out to you all. Like your first event hit silver, first ever event. Second event hits gold. Like you guys are you had to increase capacity 3 times for this event, and it
yeah,
filled up instantly all 3 times. That what else could you say about that? Like
The
people
store
want
had
what
to
you are offering.
Yeah, the
yeah,
store, shout out to Triple C, our LGS, had to rearrange the countertops and like pull them back close against the wall to fit in some extra tables.
Yeah.
Had a few more people showed up. If we had 53 players, we would have had a pod of 3 outside. And what was funny is as we were talking to people about that, like a dozen plus people were like, I'll sit outside all
Right?
day, no
Everybody
100%.
does.
problem. Yeah, everybody was
yeah.
down for it if it had to happen, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah, it was, we felt like it was a great success. We really, great success. Very nice.
Great success.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was cool. Like I think, and this is going to sound a little weird, but one of the biggest things was food. And that was one thing I took from your
Yeah.
tournament was like people are stoked on food. They're like, even though we do have a
Yeah.
Subway next door and we do have Chinese food at the other place and stuff, people like to not have to leave the tournament for food.
Hmm.
Like
Yes,
you only have
totally.
a little bit in between rounds to get these to grow on. And so if you have good food there, I didn't realize when I stood up and announced that we were having barbecue, because it was kind of a last minute thing. It was like on Wednesday, I had hit up the shop owner and was like, "Hey, you should hit up the barbecue guy that's usually out here on Fridays."
Hmm.
And so when we made the announcement, day of the tournament, nobody knew it was coming. Everybody's eyes lit up and was like, "Oh, barbecue! Okay, let's
Yeah,
go." And
Yes,
then even the
we
barbecue
totally.
do
guy was
barbecue.
like, "Thank you so much for inviting us. We made so much money today. Like it was awesome."
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So,
It's a win-win.
and it's just like we're all picking up things from each other's tournaments. Like we learned that from your turn. Like
Yeah,
it's really cool, and everything that we, if we wouldn't have went to the crown before the 99, I don't think it would have been as successful. But going to the
I love
crown,
that.
having a template, following that template, and just keep going and going, I think it's just going to
Mm.
keep snowballing into more and more. So it's yeah, I mean the crown is the 99, the 99 is the crown, right?
I love it.
So
I love it. 100%. It's Central Cal love. What I will say, because we are passing the torch to each other and sharing flowers, the crown wouldn't be anything without the fishbowl, right? I saw
Absolutely.
Hire do it. I went to Fishbowl 5. Shout out to Hire, MGT or MTG, sorry. He's amazing. I mean, if you want like the exemplary TO, he is the example. Him and Wayne Young at Lango and Baldy, Michael Aerosmith, Smith, I believe, for Excalibur events. I would say would be the three people I would like to emulate as a TO. They're very organized, they're very consistent, and they're very caring. And I think you need all three of those to be a successful TO. So I learned what I tried to emulate from the Fishbowl to bring my style and my approach. And obviously, I'm not as organized or as thoughtful as Hire, and it showed in the event. But Hire came and honestly to the rescue. Shout out to Hire. He basically jumped in and helped us sign in everyone. He was helping me in the background organize, and he was doing content in addition to all of that. He wore so many hats that weekend, and he really helped the crown. So shout out to Hire.
Absolutely,
That's
Alex.
awesome.
Alex is great. Yeah, Hire, dude. You're such. I mean, I doubt you listen to our content, but if you do, dude, you're a huge focal point in this community, and especially in California. Like what you and Zach have done for the community has really helped us get going in what we're doing. We have somebody in chat saying also the amount of people that are saying that they want to encourage their LGS to start hosting events based on seeing these events. So many embers being spread around the community, and it's true because
Yeah,
we had
very
people
true.
from at the 99. We had people from Atwater who were like, "Hey, dude, we love what you're doing. How can we get this up here?" And then we had people from Bakersfield approach us, and we're like, "Dude, we're trying to get something like this down here. Like, what's going on?" And we just shared contact information. And we said, "Dude, jump into our Discords. We'll share dates. We'll push people towards your tournaments. You push people towards our tournaments. The only thing you have to do is be part of this circuit, and we'll all flourish. We'll all push each other towards each other. There's a reason to go to each other's events if we're all part of this thing together." And
yes, absolutely.
it's crazy. It's what, February 4th? And we've already had a plat, a gold.
2 plats.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
because
2 plats.
Fishbowl was at the beginning of the year, right?
No.
So Fishbowl, Breach the Bay, and the
Breach.
Cosmic Crown Championship.
That's
Yes,
what it
yes,
was.
yes.
You're right. Breach, Cosmic Crown, and 2 plats and a gold, and it's like, barely
Yeah.
second month of the year.
Totally. And we've had another gold. We had another gold at the Bay Area as well for at Card Art. That was another gold. So
Sick.
we've had 2 golds and 2 platinums in a month.
Yep. And then we have
That's
the
pretty awesome.
the plat that's happening in San Diego at TC's at the end of the month as well.
Yes, on the 21st.
21st. Yep.
Yes, I'll be there. Yeah, so excited for that as well. Shout out to TC Rockets for always putting in work for the events.
Yeah, that shop is amazing. Shout out to Zach Adler and TC's for sure. I won't be down at that event. I'll actually be in LA competing at a silver event that day, but I'll be there in spirit. So
that's awesome. Are you supporting local? You're like a
yeah, I'm actually. So me and the wife are going down to LA for the weekend, and she's like,
cool,
"I want
cool.
to hang out with some friends," and I'm like, "Cool, I want to play some Magic." So let me see if there's a tournament in the area, and we'll do our thing.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Take the train to San Diego for the platinum.
I'm tempted. I have a buddy who
I'll
lives in
pick
San
you
Diego
up.
too.
I'll pick you up.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Damn. Okay, we're gonna have to talk after stream then.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Silver's nice. No shade to silver, but if you can get platinum,
If I can hit the best in the West qualifier,
that's huge point difference.
Yeah, totally. It's super fun too. You get more of the killers. Just something to consider. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk after stream for sure. Yeah, we might make this happen.
So Daryl, for our viewers, because you told us right away, but like you're clearly not, in some comfy room on a computer chair. You're in a vehicle somewhere. So tell us a little bit about the tournament grinder life, man.
Yeah, so if you're someone like me and you have ADHD and the tism, you really lock in, right? So I made a goal to want to be a part of the Top Deck Invitational this year. So that means I have to be top 64, top 100, but we'll say 64. Top 64 by the end of the season, which takes a lot of work. I ended up getting second in the redemption event in a large gold event of 92 players at the Fishbowl, which pushed my points significantly. I think I got 200 or 200 to 300 points. I can't remember how much. So that really gave me a strong start into the season. And with that, I kind of was like, okay, I'm hitting every gold event I can. I'm hitting every platinum event I can. and I know that I'm hosting a platinum event, and then Dude's hosting a platinum event, so I have a few options to get some points. So I've really just been grinding. Like I play CEDH on at home, of course, but actually driving like 1 hour to these LGSs in the Bay Area. I have a gold event every month. Sorry, I have a gold event every weekend except for one weekend.
Wow.
So 3 times a week, three times a month. I have 2 weekly bronzes on Tuesday at Card Art at 6 p.m. and then on Wednesdays, today at Merlion Games at 7 p.m. So those are weekly bronzes that I'm constantly grinding, and
Nice.
then on occasion we'll get like a sprinkle silver in there once or twice a month. So I'm realistically playing on average like 15 events in a month, including the weekly bronzes. So that's my
Awesome.
life. So I'm doing podcasts like this, but still have to jump in and get these bronze points because I need 2 more bronze wins and a top 16 and a platinum to lock myself into the mid-season by February 14th, which is like 10 days from this recording.
Yeah, you got this, dude. You got
Man.
this. Silvers are hard
Yeah.
to come by. That's what I keep hearing is silvers are hard to come by.
They are. Gold replaces silver, so as long as I get gold points, I'm okay. And gold seem to be more readily available, and they're higher points. So I'm really just needing 3 good golds, 1 or 2 platinums, which is not possible before the midseason, but definitely possible before the end of the season. And then I think I can max out bronzes and silvers and golds by then. So it's really just the platinums, and I haven't done well in diamonds at all historically. So I don't think I have any points in diamond even last season. So I'm really trying to be better about the larger tournaments and stop taking so many draws. That's what I recommend. If you want any advice, sometimes it's worth the risk to lose to get the win. That's my advice.
Okay.
100%. 100%.
Good advice.
I.e. my
Yeah, we
round
just had this
5.
recently, huh?
round 5, round 4 of the 99. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
My round
Yeah.
5 was exemplary of that. When we talk about the event a little more, I'll probably get into that towards the end because I don't want to make it the main focus. But I do have a dwarf apology.
Well, so yeah, let me give you some shit about it because I loved playing against you in round 1, man.
Oh,
Like
did you tell me?
I've
Tell me about
I've
it.
only known you to be, the Magda player, the
Yeah,
Magda player you should be afraid
the
of,
Mag Daddy.
except for shout out to Carlos who's been kicking ass with it lately. But yeah, man, playing against you round 1 and all of a sudden you flip over your commander in a hard case and it's fucking Vivi, and I wish I could have seen even the reaction on my own face. Like my jaw dropped. I was like, what is this, dude? What are you
I
doing?
can't tell you how many people like were ready to like mull against Magda. They were ready.
Yeah.
They're Bowmaster. They're getting their Oppo. They're getting their all the Magda dwarf hate, all the dwarfism that they can. And then they see me flip it, and then everything goes out the window. Like everything
Yeah.
they thought of me, everything that they assume about the game is completely gone. So that was really interesting. Imagine that for me, right? Everything that I'm comfortable with is also gone. So I feel a lot like that playing
Yeah.
the deck. That being said, it's had a lot of success. I am like really deep with the ABC folks and Alex Leanne and Paul, who kind of built the deck. And then also Julian is like my favorite player. I love Julian to death. He's an amazing player and he's very gracious. Definitely reach out to him for coaching. If you want coaching, if I was recommending coaching, of course, Comedian MTG, shout out to Comedian, Zach Adler as well. But Alex Leanne, Julian S. and Anthony Glacial City. Those would be the
Yep.
three people that I would throw my money at as often as I could. They are amazing players. They understand the format on the deepest level, and they're really Julian's an amazing pilot, the best in the business as far as I'm concerned, proven at the Cosmic Crown, I think. And then Alex Leanne and Anthony are amazing pilots as well, but they're also great brewers, which is a whole nother skill set. And they're really great testers. So they really built, in my opinion, or helped build and flesh out the Bay Area meta, which is the Commandeer meta. It's the what is that? Instant speed, ley line of anticipation. Like, that's what we do here. So it's really cool to see it on a national scale now, people adopting the tech and things like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to mention Glacial City, because Anthony's a lot of people in our community are adopting his list, whether it be Rowan or Niv-Mizzet. He is quite the innovator.
He is, yeah. Shout out to Anthony, Glacial City. I mean, he's part of my play group. I love the heck out of that guy. He's really amazing. I hope to be as good of a pilot and as good of a brewer as any of them.
What's the term?
So-
Steel sharpens steel. Sorry to interrupt you, Nico.
Yeah. Iron
Sharpens
sharpens iron.
There we go.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's how we feel here in the
Absolutely.
Valley. I mean, we've got out of the top 6, we've got 3 in the top 6 for the circuit.
Yes.
We
I
out here.
love that.
We out here. Killers out here in the
I
Valley,
know.
baby.
Honestly, you guys are really grinding. Like I remember when we first started, and I was like, oh, I like these guys, but I'm not taking it too seriously. And then now every event I go to, you guys are topping it, and you guys are higher in the standings than me. I love to see it. Everybody's out there. Like seeing Brian and Carlos especially, it's just like,
Yeah.
wow,
Killing
like
it.
they're really like best in the nation, right?
Yeah, dude, shout
Good
out
for
to
them.
B-Sphere.
Yeah.
Shout out to B-Sphere and Carlos. Carlos might be the best Winota player in the country, if not the top. And
The best. There's no argument. Yeah.
And B-Sphere is one of the best Tivit players, if not the best. Like, it's
Number one, at
100%.
least in results. You cannot argue with their results. They're the best. Yeah. Anybody that wants to argue, put an example of someone better in the comments. We'd love to see it.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
I mean, if you look up the deck lists for Top Deck, I mean, Top Deck has adopted both Carlos's deck for Winota and B-Sphere's deck for Tivit. They're highlighting both their deck lists. So
I believe it. Yeah. I used to be highlighted until Natalie Debus. Shout out to Vesper, the best dwarf on either coast. She's been crushing it with Magda. I think that's actually why I switched off Vivi. I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to do any better than she can. So
Well, I
got
was
to
gonna
do the
ask that.
Vivi
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
I was gonna
No,
ask what made you switch.
no, it really was. If I want to be serious, I spent an entire year on Magda, and if anyone's ever played a mono red deck or Magda specifically, it's very linear and it's very on the board. So everybody sees what you're doing, can interact with what you're doing, and as mono red, you have the smallest interaction package of all of the colors, right? You can say redirect lightning and D-SWAT and Tibble's trickery and a few other things are enough, but you don't always have them. So the lack of autonomy that Magda had, though it was really consistent and hard to interact with because it's mainly a creature combo deck with the artifact combo package, VV has 32 pieces of interaction. So I'm completely useful every game. I have something to do that I can politic, and as I think all 3 of you now have played against me, or watched me played if you were my judge, I am a yapper. I politic on
Oh,
everybody's turn. Nobody gets to do anything until I give them a
Turn
hall
zero
pass.
politicking. Turn
what are
zero
you talking about?
politicking.
You're as quiet as a mouse.
100%. So imagine going from like 5 pieces of interaction to 35 pieces of interaction. It really
Good
changed
God.
the way that I can do what I do, right? So I have more threats, more answers, and then in the end, more protection, which is really what it is. So I can protect my commander better. Vivi's got a BBL 03. Magnus flat. OBM says I can have that. And I'm done with it.
That's
Yeah.
interesting you bring up OBM because our Discord chat was having back and forth on the
What's going to go
potential
banned?
upcoming bans, and the OBM was part of it. Obviously, Ristic Study.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? Since we're that's a new hot take.
I love it. So I like to joke that I don't play any of those cards in Magda, so they can ban them all. So I like starting there. Ban them all. Ban Breach too.
Now you're tasting that Ristic Study juice, though.
I understand it now. Yeah, it is a drug. We need to get it off the streets. The kids are using it, and they're using it wrong. I think that OBM is definitely game warping, and it becomes like a mini game within the game. And then you copy the OBM, and if you can't copy or kill the OBM, then you work with the OBM player, and then it's just you versus the Ristic Study player. And the Ristic Study player always wins because they're happy to let you ping everybody else, or even themselves, because they're drawing enough gas to be able to answer your Bowmaster eventually. So I think that especially new players get locked into this mini game, and then obviously the more experienced player wins. Normally the Ristic Study player or the Fish player, whoever's drawing the cards.
Mhm.
So for that, I don't think it's a very interesting play pattern, and I don't think it's helpful to the format. I think Heuristic Study is another good example of that same play pattern, where as soon as you get Heuristic, it breaks parity in a way that one player is going to just get too much value, and then so everybody has to go fall on that player. But if two players have Heuristic, then it's balanced. The problem
Exactly.
with the Orcish Bowmaster is if you have one Orcish Bowmaster and you have two Orcish Bowmasters, then they're probably going to win. If they're not killing each other, they're going to kill everything else. So
Mhm.
then it becomes
I
problematic.
I can't even remember if I've ever seen two bowmasters. Like almost everybody kills the other bowmaster with their bowmaster because two on the board
Yes.
would be
It's
ridiculous.
definitely board dependent, because you can have someone who's on a Rog Thras or something like that, who's a heavy creature deck, and they could have tons of tokens or something like that, or some sort of BBL like VIVI, or yeah.
100%.
And so we're looking at like needing to get we needing to work together. So
Yes,
having
yes.
two until it gets to a point where the negotiations have proceeded, and we're at now like, okay, the threat's gone, now which one of us gets to keep it, and then there's a whole
Totally.
discussion.
Yeah, I think a lot of times there's the OBM pack when there is, like you said, two creature decks on the board. Like I see it a lot when there's like two blue farm players or two black players, right? And then me and a Rock Thras. That's like the perfect example, right? One will have a Heuristic, one will have an Esper Sentinel, and both of them will have Bowmasters. And they'll go, hey, don't hit mine, I won't hit yours. Let's knock these guys out. And when they're out, we'll 1v1. Blue
Right.
players, black players love to do that stuff. So I think those patterns don't really help CDH, and also if you don't want to play those colors, it kind of sucks being like left out. So for that perspective, I think that it might be healthy. Again, I never promote banning because I don't understand the format. I would never pretend to understand the format completely. And I think
Mhm.
for you to really augment the format in those ways by taking cards out and putting cards back in, you have to have a strong understanding of the format. And I, again, a top 100 player, played over 50 events, right? As large as the largest events, right? Steel City Open is my largest event, right? The largest event to date. So
Yep.
like I've been to all the little ones, I've been to all the big ones, I've hosted a platinum. So I'm not someone that has no experience, but I would never say that I understand the format in its complete like completely, and I wouldn't be able to easily navigate how to adjust these things. So hats off to the committee because it is quite a tall order.
It's a hard job,
The
because it's
thankless
not just
job.
it's
Yeah,
not
Yeah.
thankless
just
job for sure.
it's not just the balance of the format, but it's also the balance of people's wallets too. Because
Yeah.
that was a
Sure.
big thing that happened when Dockside and Jeweled Lotus was gone and Mana Crypts, because people invested a
Nadu.
shit ton of money into those cards.
Yeah.
I mean, my little personal thing was right before the Dockside ban, I literally a week before the Dockside ban, I bought a etched foil. It was like $100,
Yeah.
He like
and
traded
then
in like a whole deck to get that card.
yeah, I
Can
traded
you
in my
imagine?
whole Edgar Markov like deck for that, and then then it gets banned a week later, and I'm like, fuck, this sucks.
Hold my beer. I'm
Oh,
new to the format. It's MH3, right? I just came out.
Mhm.
I get stomped. Shout out to Rob at the Manamar for stomping me with his Blue Farm deck and his Prosper Tome deck against my colorless Eldrazi Stompy deck that would never do anything. Just all bad, right? Because it really forced me to then jump onto Nadu, Winged Wisdom.
Oh,
Shout out to Nadu. So I built a paper Nadu deck, like $3,000, $5,000, like a crazy person. Uh, and that shit gets banned before I ever get to play it at an event. I literally had it
oh
built, and
God.
2 weeks later, it got banned. I had like Sea King's Blessing, Sylvan, whatever, not Sylvan Library, but
Safekeeper.
Sylvan Safekeeper. All these random cards, they're like $50 each. They're completely unplayable outside of this very niche deck. It was
Yup.
a nightmare. So trust me, I feel you. I had a Dockside in my Ob Nixilis list, and I never played it before it got banned. So I've never played with Dockside, and I've owned one.
Dang.
Dockside was
Yeah.
busted. That was all anybody cared about. It was just who could get the first Dockside or clone it first
Yeah.
or
I
whatever.
mean,
yeah,
that's what people are doing with Bowmaster and Ristic Study.
pretty much.
Everyone's
Yeah,
playing clones and steal enchantments to be able to whoever has the last one standing,
Yeah.
which I kind of deem something worth looking at. Like if you're willing to put
100%.
cards in to steal those cards or to clone those cards or copy them, that's probably something you should put your sights on and watch really closely.
Yeah. How enjoyable is the game if everybody's looking to tutor the same thing and copy the same thing and follow the same play patterns? I don't think that's
Yeah.
exceptionally interesting. And I think that's another part. Again, shout out to Vivi for just like breaking the mold of what a typical CDH experience looks like. It's like Vivi's a good example of how you can still get the draw of like the value of heuristic study, but you can do it in a unique way that's commander centric, right? It's like you're
Mhm.
breaking VV to draw cards. You're not playing a card one time for 3 mana and hoping people are responsible, right? That's like feels like very different.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
synergy is what's breaking the card. It's not just the raw power level and people are
Right.
playing the game of Magic and triggering this
Yeah.
card. Like you're just playing the game and triggering the card. Like no, like
Exactly.
you're having to build your deck around that synergy.
Totally. And you can get whiffed out, right? A silence stops VV pretty easily.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 35 pieces of interaction. It's kind of hard to get a resolve silence.
Yeah,
You could say that if you wanted to.
that so
I don't know. I
like
mean, the whatever round it was when Magician, you and I played, we had against two VV players, and they kind of
Ooh.
both dirtled. They weren't doing much the whole time, and
Yeah,
then
I
we ended
mean,
up
I think
we
one of
presented
them.
4 different draws to you, and you ended up taking the game anyway. So kudos. to
Yeah,
Let's
you.
that was a
go.
crazy game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a king making. Shout out to Hi It Me Ed for definitely taxing my brain power.
That was
Literally
so
at
much fun.
every piece, every word coming out of my mouth, and wanting me to take a draw and threatening king making, which is viable. I'm not shitting on it, but I mean threatening king making that if I don't do something or if I keep going,
I
then
was wondering about that.
that he's gonna king make Nico or he's gonna king make Ryan or Ryan's gonna king make all together, and if I don't do anything, if I keep going, then Nico's just gonna win. But I managed to just be able to politic my way through it a little bit, get some extra Thrasios activations, and I managed to find the right cards at the right time to be able to snap the VV that had the Ophidian Eye
Ooh.
almost on it. Um, into the Flood Maw, Ed's VV, and
Oh
deal with
no.
Nico's. What was it that I dealt with on your
Ooh.
side?
Revel in silence.
Oh yeah, and I was able to win on
Nice.
top of the Revel in Silence
Yeah.
That's hot.
because
Dang. Yeah, that's
I was
masterclass.
able to find a Born Upon the Wind, which made things a
See,
lot different.
I played 3 VV players that day. You, Daryl, Ryan, and Hyatt me, Ed. And none of you did anything in my games. What are you VV players doing?
Hey, I forced the draw, which is better than what the other 2 VV players did, is what it sounds like.
They tried. I'll give
Yeah,
you
yeah.
that. They tried.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I think I am notoriously bad for always drawing, even like pods that I probably shouldn't draw. And that happened in the event too. Like there was a round 3 or 4 where like I was put in the position where my curiosity was being interacted with a red elemental blast, and the draw was presented. I had Ophidian Eye in my hand, so I could have let it resolve and then just try again on my next turn. I probably would have won. Also, the Rogthras player was needing a win too, so I could have made a I talked with them after the game, which it's always important to do this to just kind of get a feel for your opportunities and your outs. Ideally, you do it in game so you get the opportunity. But I said, is there a world where you would have protected my curiosity if I killed the other two players and we 1v1 for like
Oh,
3 rounds? And the Rock Dress player said, I needed a win bad enough that if you gave me that option, I would have said yes. So
interesting.
use your, like the other people who are down and out to help you get to where you're going and create advantages for them that will kind of ultimately give you better than zero chance to win. So that's another thing that I find very useful.
Yeah, that's a good
You
way of
offer,
politicking.
yeah,
For
and you
sure.
offered a crazy deal in round one. I remember you asked for permanent immunity from my OBM, and I was
Oh yeah,
like
Yeah,
everything, the whole game, like
Oh,
no, dude, sorry,
and
never.
you cannot
Yeah,
do that.
and I will add that's exactly what he did on stream at the Crown, and it worked.
and it worked. Yeah. So I will say, because the cat is out of the bag, I do over politic is the first thing I'll say, and I do create very asymmetric deals that are very hard to agree to. And that's kind of the thing I'm working on. Is I always ask for the moon and the stars and Pluto. And I'm working to just be happy with space or an
Yeah.
asteroid or some stardust. So yes, I am the guy that's like, if you're making a deal with me, the first deal is always like you're on your back. So if you accept the first deal, it's probably not good.
Yeah.
I'm working on being more reasonable so that people are more trusting of me, and also so they get more benefit. Because a lot of the times, like you are a great example, Nico. You're like, yeah, right. That's like, there's no way I would accept that, and that puts a blinder for the next deal, right? You're less likely
Yeah.
to be interested in my deal because now you're saying, well, this guy's unreasonable. So
Yeah.
honestly, that's another tip. Like, be reasonable, obviously be reasonable in your favor as much as you can, but not at the cost of the optics of working collaboratively, because it is a multiplayer format and you'll always be better off with support rather than with a 3v1 against you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you don't want those Groupon
I
deals.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, I know. Yeah, I was gonna say, he's like, I never see an Orcish Bowmaster. So funny story, Fishbowl 6. I only got to play Rupon one time, and he'll tell you the story, I'm sure, if you ask him. But I like navigated the pod to draw, and at one point he had two Orcish Bowmasters, and someone that was working with me to draw against him almost gave him a third Orcish Bowmaster because they were just like lost in the sauce. And I had to be like, hey, there's like no advantage for you to let this resolve. Can you please interact here so he doesn't have three Orcish Bowmasters? And he goes, oh, okay, I guess. I was just going to let him wipe your board. I was like, if he wipes my board, then I can't play for the draw. We're playing for a draw. So yeah, the Orcish Bowmasters gotta go. Gotta go.
Agreed.
I was gonna say, Nico, I heard you during the tournament. I don't know if they were a new player or not, but you were explaining to someone, like that your enemy or the enemy of your enemy is your friend,
Mhm.
and I feel like that's a very good way of looking at things when it comes to being able to politic, like what you were saying, Daryl. Like you need to be able to not ask for the moon, the stars, and Pluto because you need to be able to make it mutually or slightly mutually in your favor. To
Mhm.
work there.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah, to have
don't
another turn is good. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. To take a turn from everybody else is very hard to sell. And again, if you're doing this long term like me, right, over 50 tournaments, like
Mhm.
people will get accustomed. Every time I go to an event, someone reminds me, hey, I played against you at this, right? And then
Mhm.
if it was a bad experience for them, they're starting the table saying, hey, I
Yeah.
remember you said you weren't going to win, and then you blew up all of my stuff, and then you won on the next turn or whatever, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
avoiding like that is super important too. It's like CDH karma is so real. Like if you're a bad
Yep.
shithead like Mr. Tiki Tiki who lies about not winning, fuck you, then people like remember, and they'll like go on podcasts and they'll put your name out there so other people know not to trust you.
Yeah,
So
it's
like
a
it's not a
community.
good vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so be a good person, obviously win, be as spiky as you can still get into heaven, if even if you don't believe in it. That's how I try to play now. You don't want to feel bad about games. You don't want to Jason Doan your homies. That's not right. So,
Yep.
Like it's important to keep your character intact when you're playing a game.
For sure. Yeah. End of the day, this
100%.
is a game. This is a gathering. We're a community. We're trying to cultivate a good community. And if you're being a shithead, we're all gonna know.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And you take away from the format, you take away from your own experience, and then you take away from the community. So
Yep.
why?
Yeah. Because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, this is all a gathering. We're all just
Yes,
gathered.
yes.
We're all just a bunch of grown ass
Totally.
men playing with paper.
100%. Trying to escape. We're trying to have fun, trying to decompress, trying to express ourselves in ways that maybe we don't have the opportunity to in day-to-day life.
100%.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even though some of us check our watches during a combo and they look down and it's 134 beats per minute. And,
100%. Yeah. I didn't say it was the healthiest. I didn't say it was the healthiest.
I love when you watch a player comboing off and they reach for their deck. And they're,
100%.
You can see
I will call
the
them out when they
tremors.
start
Yeah.
shaking. Yeah. I go, are you pushing on your turn? And they go, no. And they start touching their deck and they're shaking like this. I go, dude, why are you shaking if you're not pushing? He's
Yeah.
like, I'm just nervous. Why are you nervous if you're not
why are you
pushing?
nervous?
bro,
Yeah,
I was
to see them.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was.
Go ahead.
There's sometimes where just like those tells are just too much, and you're like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
way too obvious. Yeah.
yeah.
Or when they're rushing you, like, do you have anything else? Like, oh god, this guy's gonna push so hard on his turn. What are we doing about this wrong side player that really wants to get to their untapped stuff?
really
Bro,
wants
that was
untapped,
you and me
right?
the last time I played against you. I was like, this
I
motherfucker needs to hurry
know.
up.
I
I
don't
got
know
the
what
win
you're
on my
talking
turn.
about.
I'm like, Daryl's really over here slow playing me. This guy's crazy.
That's so unlike me and definitely a spiky thing to do. That's so 2 tournaments ago too, bro. We're
Oh,
talking
man.
about the California
Tournament.
99 2,
That's
not
right. That's right. My
one.
bad. That was the 99-1.
Yeah.
My bad.
Didn't you eat it up on 2? You
I got a question for you because you have so much tournament experience, like you've been talking about. What are some
Yeah.
of the most common tells or ticks that you've seen on people?
Good question.
And then the follow up is, what are some ways to like avoid that, or like what's the poker face equivalent in Magic?
Interesting you say that. So I would say that I personally have like an advantage or a sad reality that like I mask a lot. So I'm masking my emotions a lot. So I myself have like a consciousness of what I'm portraying outside. So that's what's good for me. Obviously, it's like a maladaptive behavioral thing from like stuff in the past, if I'm really
Sure.
honest. So it's not easy to like train that part. But what I will say is I'm also always focused on every player while they're on their turn and while they're not on their turn. You can see like a player like shaking or fidgeting. A lot of times the biggest tells or that I like to focus on are the verbal and nonverbal. So for the verbal, it's like how many cards in hand, right? That's going to be a J will. Or the nonverbal examples would be like even like the land choice in some cases. Like if you're choosing a specific land type, it'll tell me you're tutoring Enlightened Tutor, you're tutoring Mystical Tutor, you're tutoring Vamp Tutor, and things like that. You have 3 mana open and it's black. Maybe it's an Oppo agent. So those are like the subtle cues, like the intangibles. Also, people like to fidget. So if you're fidgeting a lot, if you're touching your ear, if you're nervous in that way, if you're shuffling your deck, if you can't stay still, then I'm gonna have a sense of like arousal in you that it, for me feels like nervousness. Also, if you're constantly checking in with what else is going on, I'm believing that you're looking for information to see, like, even when people are asking, like, hey, do you have anything for this? If someone's asking that, I'm like, this person's looking to figure out if they have a window. They're trying to see which pieces of information they can gather so they can see if they have an ability to push. So someone that feels uneasy, someone that's regularly interjecting or deflecting, those are the people that I'm generally like, if they're not a threat, they're at least easy to deflect to, right? The person that's always constantly talking, the person that's like trying to push a draw is a good example, like, or the person that's like, I really can't accept a draw, I have to win. Like those people, like will constantly talk about their own needs, and if they're not talking about the table needs, then it's very easy to be like, hey, this guy's obviously self-interested, this guy's obviously trying to just do their own thing, and then bringing it back to the community. The ways that I control myself is I'm a bleeder. I'm like really bad about bleeding my hand. So one thing that I do now is I review my cards, I make a mental note of what I'm doing on my turn, and I put my cards down and I put a dice on top of them with the number of cards that I have available. And then if an interaction occurs, I take the dice off, I pick it up just to refresh myself to make sure I have no game action, and I put it back down. Because otherwise I'm flipping through my cards and I'm showing a card on accident and things like that. And that's a way that I help reduce the information that I provide my enemies. So that would be, or my opponents, not my enemies. Sorry.
Nah, they're all the same.
I heard one of the LA gang at the 99 the other day say that a part of the CDH is like how you position yourself to not show your hands to the other three players, right? Yeah,
Yes.
you got to sit at like that 45-ish degree angle. To otherwise, yeah, the person to your left or right is able to see, not even intentionally, just like that glance over to look at your board state, and then yeah, they could see a card or two or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes it is intentional because it's not illegal. Like it's not an illegal action to do. It's obviously frowned upon, like lying.
Sure.
Like nobody likes you to do that, but it is advantage. And in the end of the game, like in the end of the day, like there are people that are going to exhaust every advantage. So
Yeah.
it's important to know. And I need to be more mindful of that, as a player that plays a lot.
Cool.
Yeah, I definitely adapted what Nico was talking about at the 99. I tried to, if I got to the table first, because we didn't have actual assigned seating for where seat one is going to sit. If I got to the table first, I was positioning myself to be on on a corner where my left eye was not going to be an issue for me because I can't see on my left eye. So I was giving
Yeah.
my right eye full view of the entire table,
Hmm.
so that I didn't have a blind side.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That was my goal, was to not have a blind side for myself.
Yeah.
So
That's why I always sit
And
on the
that's a
left.
I
perfect
don't know if anyone else
example.
can really adapt that, but that's what I do.
Well, you say that though, but that's the exact point, is like everybody has a specific thing that they could improve on, right? As a unique individual. And it's really important to identify how you individually can grow, right? And I think that's the message, right? For me, it's the fidgeting and putting my cards down. For you, it's making sure that you have the right perspective, right? For you, for the game, all of that's super important and super individual. So I think that's a really important part, is like, if you are someone who is talking superfluously, maybe monitoring and listening to what you're gonna say before you say it, because I know, like, I exhaust people, and people are less likely to work with me because I'm constantly talking on their turn, which makes them want me to stop talking, right? Versus like Julian is a good example. He's very surgical. He won't say anything all game until it's the right time, and then his words are more powerful because it's not constantly coming at you. So that's another good example. So if you suffer from that, which I do, it's good to think about what you're going to say and think about, is this something I have to do, or is this just me like filling the air?
Yeah, I could take a page out of Julian's book for sure. I'm sure my pod mates would agree with that, but I've been working on my limiting myself in my politicking because I
We,
overshare.
we have a question in chat here that's kind of relevant to this. How do you react to people accusing you of slow play? And so I bring this up because even in our recent tournament, we had somebody, or maybe it was an event, but I heard about somebody getting talked to kind of in between rounds of over politicking being considered slow play because it's taking so much time because they're just yapping and yapping and yapping. So there's a few different versions of slow play, but how would you guys, what's your reaction to being accused on that, if ever, or if you've seen other people
Yeah.
or whatever?
Well, Cam calls me a slow player, so I think
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. I was
you
like,
have
wait. I was like, this is going
you
right
have
at
to
me.
ask
Fired.
Cam. Yeah, you gotta ask Cam, I guess, because I don't know. What I will say is, if you're taking meaningful game actions, then you're progressing. Obviously, if you're playing like Rog Thras, where like your turn can be 20 minutes and you do nothing, like there's an extent. I am a politicker that takes so much of the game clock by yapping, right? And inconsiderately sometimes, as I am conscious of, right? So I would say like there has to be a clear line. I do remember going to 2 events and like 60 card judges that don't understand the format like rushed me as I asked like 1 or 2 questions. So I'll be clear to say
I had
like
that.
everybody should have the time to communicate, and a judge should be respectful of everybody's play experience. And I think like correcting to, well, politicers are a problem, which I feel is like maybe the narrative needs to change, because it is a game about politics. And if you don't care for politics, then you shouldn't be a CDH judge, is my opinion, not a statement of fact. But yeah, I have had problems with 60 card judges rushing me as I'm trying to build deals because they feel like I'm wasting time or angle shooting from their perspective. But again, like that is a lot of the EV in this multiplayer format, is being able to create deals that create value for you. And not being able to do that is definitely changing the format in a way that, at least the way I express myself as a player, would be limiting.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
it's a big thing is like I'll always reference that game, and you and I always bullshit and joke back and forth about that game and stuff, but you were taking game actions. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
I had the win on the turn,
yeah.
you were going to pass and the guy
I
had to
knew
pass to
I
me,
didn't have the win.
but
Yeah.
like you were taking meaningful game actions. So like, as much as I give you shit for it, like I'll jokingly call you a slow player, but if somebody like genuinely asks me like, is Daryl like gonna slow play me out of a game? No, he's not gonna do that. But like I will
No.
jokingly go back and forth with it, because like you can I feel like you can tell, like, and you have to be like Carlos is a great example of this, Winota Carlos, because he is playing a stacks deck, so he's very conscientious of the clock. And so he will very
He's
politely be
moving
like,
fast.
hey, I know you're like he'll just very politely say like, hey, I know you're thinking, but I need you to kind of hurry it up a little bit. My deck's really slow. I
Yeah.
went through combat damage. I need to, I need you to take some game
Get
actions.
rounds.
And I've
Mhm.
never once been offended by him saying that. I could see where some other people would be,
Mhm.
but it's the way you present it too. Like you can, it's one of those things where it's like, it if you see it. Like
Yeah,
you can
totally.
just tell somebody's just sitting there taking game actions or doing whatever. But if they're really actually taking game actions and stuff, they're not going to be offended by you asking them to speed it up, because that's
Not
their
at all.
intention
Yeah,
isn't to slow down the game. Their intention is to finish their turn. And so I think just a
absolutely.
simple prodding of like, hey man, like we're kind of at like 3 minutes here. Like I've got something on my turn I want to get through, or not. Don't even say you got something on your turn. That's a lot of information to give up.
Yeah, yeah,
Just, hey,
totally. Yeah, I'd like to see a turn.
let's get some game actions. Yeah, yeah. I want to get it back to my next turn. Stuff like that.
Yeah, totally. If you are able to push for a win right now, I'd like for you to do that. If not, I'd like to be able to see a turn.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a good
Yeah,
way
I
of
think
putting
that's super healthy. Yeah. And all jokes aside, I think that there is some strategy to like doing meaningful game actions and getting a draw instead of a loss. Not saying that I did that, but saying that,
I know
people do
what you
do
were
that.
doing. I was picking up what you
Yeah,
were
yeah.
putting down, but I can't. It's the
Yeah.
game. I can't get mad at it. Like you weren't just sitting there staring at your hand. You had things to
No
do.
way. Yeah.
Like
Yes.
they were affecting the board state. So I'm just like, I'm sitting there like tapping my leg, just like,
This
this
guy.
guy's got me.
Yeah.
This motherfucker's got me. So
Yeah.
I get it. It's totally like, yeah. It's such a spectrum. Slow play is such a spectrum of things, and
Sure.
I mean, we drew that match. What am I gonna say? We drew that match. So
We did, yeah.
yeah,
You would have won, and I definitely see that. I would not have wanted you to win, though you are my homie, right? Live. I'm telling you this.
it is what
Yeah.
it is, man. That's the game. Don't
It
hate the
is, yeah.
player, hate the
And
game,
next
right?
time, 100%. And next time, what do? You make sure that your wins faster, or you make sure that, like you're saying, you're constantly checking in to say, hey, do you have a meaningful game action?
And it's
Uh,
like it reminds me of sports a little, where like, sorry, Nico, you can tune out for a sec, but where like my coaches growing up
Earplugs, earmuffs.
always told me like, you have to look at like the entire game. Like you could screw up at the very end of the game and it could have cost you the game, but you have to look at the
yeah,
entire game. Like, did we go
100%.
to time because of that one turn Daryl was on, or did we go to time because we were yapping a little too much here, and because I took a little too long to think here, and because that guy maybe had a anecdote that he told in the middle of the game? Like it's a culmination of things. It's not just because Daryl decided to take one turn a little bit slower. Like we got to time because of a reason. Like it was the table contributed to us going to time. And if you don't feel the table has contributed and it was one person contributing to going to time, judge. You know.
Yeah, and I think that's what I like want to make like the main focus. Like especially for new players, I think experienced players talk about this all the time. If you're a new player and anything feels off, if it feels weird at all, if you have a question that you don't feel comfortable expressing to the table, always call a judge. Even if it's not relevant, the judge will just let you know that at the worst case scenario. But the best case scenario is you learn something. And as an example, if you think someone like a Rockdrass player or the Magda player is just spinning their wheels so that you lose and you don't get the opportunity that you believe you should have, then calling a judge at the very least will have them by the table, and that would push and pressure the player to then start making more meaningful game actions or like complete their tutor. I know that Rockdrass players and any tutor player can spend like 2 minutes per tutor, and if you have two or
Yeah.
three tutors, right, that it turns into like a large portion of the game. So I think that like anytime you have a question, call a judge, get more comfortable with working with the judges. They're amazing players, amazing people, and they're there to support you. That's their entire function in the format.
Yep.
And then also bolster like what you know to be good and like the healthy play patterns so that you can reinforce those for the table yourself as a player. And then of course, obviously the judges are the people who are actually enforcing these things. So call them so that they can, make their judging.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well said. Yeah, people need to be comfortable calling judges over. Because
Please.
real competitive players aren't going to be offended by you calling a judge.
So
No.
I just had this at the 99, and I think this is a good example for what we're talking about. It was somebody from the LA crew, good competitive player. They're hanging with Wayne and Rain and that whole crowd, and they did an imp seal, okay, and had 3 cards in hand. Put the card that they imp sealed down on the table separate from their 3 cards in hand, shuffled past turn. Next player, untap, upkeep, draw, plays land. Okay, so guy's still shuffling, and next player plays land. And then he, gets the deck cut, goes to take the card to put it on top of the library, but instead puts it in his hand, like on top of the 3 cards in hand. And immediately, me and another player, not the active player, but the next player, were like, "Oh, you just put that in your hand, man. That's supposed to go on top." And like in that moment, we're almost like, I'm pretty sure I knew what the card was. Okay. But he like goes to try and put it back on top, and I immediately am just like, "Nope, judge." And I tell him, I'm like, "Sorry, man, that's an illegal play or whatever. I want to make sure this
Totally,
gets resolved correctly." So he got real flustered. At one point, I even
yeah.
just turned and told him, I was like, "Listen, man, I do not believe that you're trying to cheat here. But like,
Yeah.
if you happen to be a master sleight of hand, like you could have changed the card and nobody would be the wiser, right?"
Truly,
So
yeah.
it was an awkward 10 minutes there, but we kept playing. It was resolved, and I think everything was fine afterwards, and we ended up going to a draw that game. So yeah.
Yeah, that's super important. I think you did exactly what should have been done. And honestly, that is like not maintaining the game state, I think is the ruling for that.
It
And
was
that's
a
part of
hidden information
Hidden card error.
hidden card error is what it was
hidden
called.
card error. Oh, okay,
Hidden
gotcha.
card
Yeah.
error. Yeah. So
And it
not a
happens,
game
yeah.
rule violation, but yeah.
I can't tell you how many like tournaments, even if it's just a bronze, where I'm like doing Magda tutor and I accidentally shuffle my hand into the deck, right? I totally done it before. So it's like that's why it's important to slow it down. That's why it's important not to let people rush you as well. We've been talking about like slow play, but also the alternative. Like I cannot tell you how many games that were super important that I could have easily won if I took a breath, slowed it down, asked people to please stop talking so that I can focus on this turn because it's a crucial time for me in this game. And I can't tell you like how much I think that's so important because when your cortisol is up and you're stressed out and you have a lot of inputs happening, then you're more likely to get put in a position where you're going to blunder. So making sure that you're respectful of other people's time and making sure they have enough time. I'd say like within 30 seconds to a minute, you should have a general game action. If they're tutoring, maybe 2 minutes is a reasonable amount of time. anything after 2 minutes and not making a game action for me feels like slow play, and I would definitely have a judge start watching them. Is my general rule of thumb, and everybody feels differently. You don't want to rush people, but you also don't want to make people feel like they aren't able to play.
Absolutely.
Hell
Yeah.
I would just want to talk about one game in particular, my
Go
round
for it,
5.
man.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
please.
so I did play Vivi in the California 99-2. You guys got to come to the All Valley. You have to stay linked in with CCC and in response for all of your Central California needs for CDH. So I did pretty poorly, if I'm honest, with Vivi. I had a lot of mistakes, like in the game with Nico. I missed the fish trigger. So like I'm not a blue player. I'm just pretending to be one. So I'm still learning a lot of these functions, right? It was my first time less than 10 reps on the deck playing it in an event, so I took it to a gold event. It was a little risky. I got 4 draws in the first 4 rounds, and then I needed a win for the 5th draw, right? So 5th round, I could not draw. We got to a point where Alex, AAA cards,
Shout out to Alex.
was on Magda. Yeah. My main deck, right? So I know it really well. And he's seat 1, I'm seat 2. Then we have seat 3 Glarb, seat 4. Can't remember. I apologize, dude. Basically, we get to an environment where Alex plays a Caveron turn 1. And as soon as he plays it, I'm always yapping, right? I go, oh my god, he's gonna play Magda turn 2. He's gonna station Magda. He's gonna play another dwarf. He's gonna station the dwarf. He's gonna play another dwarf. I've seen it 100 times. I've done it 100 times. Like, we need interaction, right? I'm already starting the politics, right? So sure enough, turn 2 comes around. He plays Magda. He crews Magda. He plays the dwarf. He crews the dwarf. He plays the dwarf. So he has 3 dwarfs on the field. I go, what the fuck are we doing, guys? Like, I don't have a turn 2 VB in Curiosity. Like, we need to do something about this. So sure enough, nothing happens for us. They get back to their turn. Alex gets to get an activation. I'm like, please, Alex, like, get something reasonable. He gets a God Pharaoh statue. Not reasonable. So I'm like,
at all.
god damn. So I'm pretty cooked. I'm like, okay, everything costs 2 more. My deck is, everything's free. Like, not a good place to be. I managed to have 2 VV triggers on turn 2, so VV's a +2, and I have Virtue of Courage. Oh no, I have Imp Recruiter in my hand. So I pay 5 mana for an Imp Recruiter. I get Tandem Lookout in hand, which is a curiosity effect, and so I'm just trying to get to my untapped step so I could hopefully get a window, right? So in that time, miraculously, the Rockdress player has a Shatter spell in hand and draws a Presageu for a Godthrow statue. And then the other player had a bounce spell for the Artifact Dwarf that they played on their turn. So next turn, Alex is winning. I orchestrate the bounce of the Godpharaoh statue. I thunderclap Magda, kill Magda, and then the other player, maybe it was a Tivit player, I can't remember. It was not Brian. I can't remember what it was, to be honest. Maybe it was a TNT. I'll check later. But they bounce the Artifact Dwarf, so we get another turn. On my turn, I hit them with the Tandem Lookout, VV triggers out the wazoo. Final Fortune, Ghost of Time,
Damn.
go. And then Alex was just like, don't look at me. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm
Damn.
sorry. And like, real talk, if I didn't need the gold points, I would never dismantle a Magda player, because I personally hate when people do that to me. Like, if I didn't need the gold points, Alex, I would have never done it. I apologize to you. You deserved it, and I took it from you.
Hilarious.
At least you didn't make him
Well,
cry.
I believe he will
I
hear the
couldn't. He's a
apology.
strong man. Yeah. I apologized to him that day, but I wanted to be on record that I have so much love for you, Alex. And I'm glad that you stuck to mommy, even though I left her in the mines.
That's perfect. He was actually in chat earlier too, so he might still be out here.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So much love. Check out AAA. He's always like super sick with like getting everybody the deals. He's really grateful, or really generous with like Amazon links and shock drops on Costco, everything. So if you want all of the goods, Pokemon, Magic, all of that stuff, check out AAA as well.
Yeah, AAA Cards is awesome. They're a huge supporter of the channel. Big friends. We love you out there, Alex. Thanks for all the support, man. Sorry you took that round 5 loss. Sounds like a rough one.
Yeah. It's getting me to the midseason though. So like, if I get to the midseason, I owe you a nice dinner or something.
There we go.
Nice. Here we go. This is a good trade-off, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes you got to talk people into doing your bidding. It just is the way it is.
Yeah.
He said that. He's like, dude, you were able to like navigate the whole table to stop me. So what can I say? So also really, really gracious in that position too. So I would have been way more mad.
I was gonna throw out for everyone viewing live, and we were talking about people who were supporting us, and we really appreciate that. We have a new way of being able to support us, aside from leaving comments and subscribing and following us on our social medias. Cam, you could probably go into a little bit more details, but I just wanted to let you guys know that we now have an active Patreon.
Yeah, we do. We're on Patreon now. We just set that up so that we can get people to start help supporting us. The costs are starting to add up a little bit for making a podcast, which we're fine with. We're out here doing it for the love of the game. But yeah, if you guys do want to support the pod and like what we do, make sure you check us out on Patreon. We're on there in response MTGs. You guys can find us on there. Right now we've only got one tier. We've got the $3 tier, which gets you a shout out in each of our episodes at the end of the episodes. But we will be expanding on that and having more prizes, giveaways, and things like that. We literally just made it today, so bear with us, chat, but we're getting in there.
I love it.
Yeah, so
That's amazing. Yeah, definitely show love, show support. These guys are out there on the ground really doing the work that's needed to grow the community. So definitely show support.
Thanks, Daryl. Much
Thanks, Daryl.
appreciated.
Was there anything else you wanted to throw out there, Daryl? You got a tournament to go to. I would love to hang out here and just chat with you all night, but I know you got an event to go to. We're pushing on an hour and a half, and it's been a good time. What can I say? It's been awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we could easily talk for another hour.
Yeah, no, thank you all so much. Shout out to ABC EDH, shout out to Julian S, shout out to Anthony Glacial City, shout out to Alex Leanne, shout out to In Response and everybody in California, CEDH, shout out to Zach Adler and the California circuit. Let's all grow together. Stay tuned for the Cosmic Crown Championship 2, April 18th and 19th. We're still looking for a venue or keeping the same venue. We don't know certainly yet. So keep your calendars marked, and we'll definitely be updating you over the socials and things like that. So much love. Thank you all for having me. I'm excited to see you at the next CDH event.
Awesome. Make sure you guys follow him at RudeDudeMTG on all his socials, as well as on Discord. And make sure you guys also follow at Cosmic Crown on Instagram. They will give you all the updates on the tournament and events and things that are going to happen as well. Make sure you guys keep posted in our Discord. We'll let you know any more events and stuff that are happening around the tournaments, or excuse me, around the California scene and around the circuit that we're pushing very heavily. Shout out to our first 2 Patreons. We got Alex over at AAA Cards, and we've got Thomas, roommate, Mr. Nadir Thrasio. So thank you guys so much for being our first Patreons. We really appreciate our first patrons. We really appreciate all the support and love. It means the world to us.
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else you guys wanted to add, Mexa Delight or Magician?
No, sorry. Just wanted to say thanks for our first couple patrons, and really appreciating all the support from everybody. The turnout to the 99 was amazing. Yeah, I don't want to go, too deep and sappy, but it was great. So feeling the love from everybody and excited to keep this going.
Yeah, absolutely. 50 people was great.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who came out to the California 99 Part 2. Thank you, Daryl, for coming, showing up, and supporting us. It was awesome to have you there. And randomly, thank you to the Girl Scout that came out.
Yeah. Barbecuing Girl Scout cookies, CEDH. Yeah. What else could you want?
She just cleaned shop with us. Yeah. It was crazy.
She moved the table. She knew where the money was. She was on the corner, and she's like, "Oh, these guys are coming from that cart shop. I'll save them the walk." And she just brought the table right in front of the store. Smart,
awesome.
Savvy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but all serious. Thank you to our first 2 patrons. We really support the or appreciate the support.
Definitely. So. Awesome. Well, if nobody has anything else, then that is the show. So thank you everybody who joined us here live tonight, and make sure you guys tune in every other week here at youtube.tv/InResponseMTG25 for the live show. Our next one is scheduled to be February 17th, if I remember correctly, at 6 p.m. So make sure you guys mark your calendars for that. We will be interviewing comedian. By the time this is published, the interview will be done. But anybody who's tuning in live, make sure you guys catch us on the 17th at 6 p.m. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube as well as our Instagram. And make sure you guys follow us wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate all the support and thank you so much. Until next time, stay magical.